All right, don't let this Bitcoin chart and this Bitcoin price fool you, because even though we are stable at 46,149, there's a big week for crypto ahead. I don't know if you guys saw the altcoin pump this weekend. If you didn't see it, go and watch Miles' stream from the weekend, because that kind of sums up what happened on the weekend. And that's probably more indicative of what's actually happening on the market right now, because I was going to start the stream earlier and I was going to talk about 5 big things that were going to move this market. But while I was making the show, a 6th one popped up. So a lot's happening. It's a massive, massive, massive week for crypto. And that's what we're going to be talking about, this huge week for crypto. Also, today, we're going to be talking about this chart. And I know it looks like an altcoin chart that goes like this, but this is actually the Twitter chart. And that's because Twitter is up 25% today. And that is on news that Elon Musk has taken a 9% share in Twitter. Now, what that means effectively is that Elon Musk is now the biggest shareholder in Twitter. And Jack Dorsey, who was the CEO of Twitter, who's this big Bitcoin maxi, well, if you Google Jack, you'll realize that Jack only has 2% of Twitter. I don't even know if he still has that 2% in Twitter. And whereas Jack loves Bitcoin, Elon loves DogeCoin. So, I mean, could this be a huge thing for DogeCoin? Regardless of whether it is or isn't a good thing for DogeCoin, it is a huge thing for crypto. It is a huge thing for crypto, and that's what I'm going to show you here today. So it's going to be a long show. It's going to be one of our best shows. We're going to be doubling portfolios today, as we do every single day. And then I'm going to give you guys huge amounts of token in a new Cardano DEX that actually we've invested in. So it's going to be a massive show. It's going to be lots of fun. Hopefully I can do it very quickly, because otherwise Fred's going to come in the stream and look at me and say, oh, you're running over time. But who cares? Let's just have some fun. Let's just do this. Yo, I see you all. I see you all in the comments. I was watching you guys commenting. I see Taimur there. I see Casey Dunn. I see Rahul Punjani. I see every single one of you in the comments, and I see today's going to be a big show because you guys are rowdy. I see Kathy G. I see Luke Sniper. I see Jake Sniper. Let us know where you're from. Let us know if you're buying and if you're selling, and let us know if you guys have been here before, whether this is your first time. And if it is your first time, well, then just subscribe to the channel. And if you can, do us a huge favor, just like the content, because when you do, that is what gets the show out there. Today, we've got a massive show for you guys. So I don't want to waste any time there. I don't want to waste any time doing intros. I want to get straight to the point, and I want to start giving you crypto love and crypto wisdom. So smash the like button, and let's do this. Jet, I see you too. I see you too. I see your profile picture too. I see English South African too. I see George. I see Dirk Lowry. I see all you guys giving us love. Love the banter family. I'm going to give you some stuff back today. I'm going to give you tens of thousands of dollars. Tens. You heard me right. Tens of thousands of dollars in tokens in a new Cardano DEX, and it's actually the Cardano DEX that I've been backing. So I've been telling you about it for a while. It's called ADASwap. Today is the day, people. Today is the day. I've also got some Chingari NFTs, and we're going to double some portfolio today. So it's kind of going to be this fun show. It's going to be a combination of a crypto reality show, a game show, and a crypto news show. So we're going to try and have as much fun as possible. It's also going to be an astrology show. You'll see later why it's also an astrology show. Kyle Dupes will be doing astrology for us, because he's not doing charts anymore. So we're going to be doing astrology for us. Why are you laughing? You knew I was going to catch you for that one. Come on.
That's fine. I can do astrology. Astrology is what billionaires pay attention to, so it's fine.
Kyle, all right, let's go. Let's talk about the big story today, which is, of course, Elon. And Elon Musk, it started with this tweet where I think free speech is essential to a functioning democracy. Do you believe Twitter rigorously adheres to this principle? And then he said, the consequences of this poll will be important. Please vote carefully. And I think he was very frustrated with the fact that Twitter and other social media platforms were safeguarding free speech. And Elon Musk is really one of those people who's very much for free speech and what's right. And people then thought that that was it. That's the end of this thing. And Elon Musk, and someone actually, I think, suggested that he start a new social network. But the thing is, we're starting a new social network. You need to get traction. You need to get a lot of traction, and you need to get the network effect. And Twitter kind of has the network effect, but Twitter's been slow to ship. In fact, a lot of investors in Twitter have been very, very, very disappointed in Twitter. And in the investors in Twitter, you've got some of the biggest funds in the world. Like you got the Vanguard Group, which own about 8.39% in Twitter. You got BlackRock, which own about 4.56% of Twitter. And if you look at all their investments, Fidelity, ARK Investment Group, they're a good bunch of investors, but a lot of them have been disappointed for the longest time. And Jack resigned earlier this year. And if you look at Jack shares, he, even though he was the founder, owns 2% of Twitter. And if you look at the other shareholders, well, effectively, there's not a single shareholder there that owns more than 8.39% until today. Because today, Elon Musk announced that he's bought 9% of Twitter. So he bought 9% of Twitter. And that stake in Twitter was worth about $3 billion as of Friday afternoon. Obviously, the price of Twitter has now jumped significantly. Now, the big question is, why did he buy Twitter and what's his plan? I guess he just wants to get more free speech. And I think he's tired of Twitter policing Twitter, which is such a voice, that's such a big platform. I think he's just tired of them policing it. And so he did post this, but he deleted this tweet. And I wonder if he deleted this tweet because he was worried about the SEC. But he says, given that Twitter serves as the de facto public town square, failing to adhere to free speech principles fundamentally undermines democracy. What should be done? Is a new platform needed? And then I think along the way, he realized that instead of building a new platform, what you could rather do was buy an existing platform. Listen to this interview. Now, just a heads up here, this interview is with a guy called John McNeil. And John McNeil is a former president of Tesla. So I think he knows Elon because he's Elon's former president. Listen to this.
Going on with Twitter, what do you think he's trying to accomplish here? What's his motivation?
I think he's discovered that buying a social network may be cheaper than building one, and certainly a lot less headache. And in Twitter's case, they're cheap amongst all the social media platforms. And it's largely because they haven't executed. And I think Elon looks at that company and he's proven one thing. If he hasn't proven anything else, he can execute and drive teams to execute across multiple companies. So I think he looks at Twitter and says, this is an undervalued asset. It hasn't shipped product, which has been the main criticism of Twitter at a pace that it needs to in years. He thinks he can probably fix that, and then maybe provide himself a platform to really have some significant influence.
Well, that's you think's going on with Twitter. What?
So, I mean, there's a lot of questions about what's going to happen now. Remember, he's not actually running Twitter. He's just the biggest shareholder of Twitter. And I guess that a lot of the people on the board will now vote alongside Elon Musk. Also on the board of Elon is Cathie Wood. So, you know that Cathie Wood is a massive Tesla holder. And she's now also on the board. So let me just see if I can find that article again. So you see here, ARK it also owns 2% of Twitter. And you know that Cathie Wood owns a big part of Tesla. And you know, she was, what we understand, was the one to bring Elon Musk to that talk that her, Jack Dorsey, and Elon Musk did when Bitcoin was dipping last year after Elon's ESG comments. So interesting times ahead. And I wonder if in these interesting times, I wonder if one of the things that they will actually do right now just to bring back freedom of speech is actually give Donald Trump his account back. Let me know what you think. I wonder if that's part of the plan. You think Donald Trump will get his account back? I mean, he should.
Yeah,
he should. I like this comment over here. There was a comment here which said Elon Musk basically running his own digital country now with a centralized media platform called Twitter and then a currency called DogeX. I mean, could this be good for Doge? I don't know. Jack Dorsey was going to integrate Doge into Bitcoin into Twitter. That was, and I think you can tip in Bitcoin, right?
yes.
And remember that Jack Dorsey, the ETH icon, he made it Ethiopia. So it was like a big stab at Bitcoin. That's what he did. That's what Jack Dorsey did because he's such a Bitcoin maximalist. I don't know. I looked at the Doge price. It is up, but not much up. It's up today 2.3%. So you see, so it's up 2.3%. Not much. Seriously, not much. Not much. So not much going on there. Also, not much going on the Bitcoin price. If you look at the Bitcoin price, boring. It looks like it's just coiling up here doing nothing, which is weird because it actually is quite a big week for Bitcoin. And maybe after last week, we've had such huge weeks that maybe the market's just looking for a little bit of a break, a breather before the next leg. And a lot of people are calling for the next leg down. I think the next leg's going to be up, but hey, maybe I'm wrong. Let's look at the data and let's look at what may bring the market up and what may bring the market down. From a chart point of view, I mean, I'm not a champion chartist, but I know enough to know that I said to you guys that when we broke through this trend line, we broke into a new major trend. We then had a a breakup, and then we had the retest, and then we went up, and then we started getting the second trend, and we broke through the second trend. And look here, we had a perfect retest of the second trend after rejecting the 200-day moving average. Fuck, I sound like the sniper. I'm talking charts. Sure. Okay, so from the charts point of view, another perfect retest of another trend that was broken. Carl's going to tell me to make the trend horizontal. The thing with Carl is, I think he's lost his mind a little bit, because he's now talking about the arrival of the bare moon. And now, wait, hold on a second. Carl, just tell us a little bit about the moon.
The bare moon is a moon that arrives every 15 days. And yeah, it changes depending on whether it's a full moon or half moon. And if you backtest it on a daily, you can literally type in the, moon phases on TradingView, MP or moon phases will come up. On a daily, it's surprisingly accurate. It's probably got an 80% hit rate, which is crazy. I mean, it's outperforming some of the top traders out there. So it's just something interesting I look at. I don't trade off it. So the bear moon has arrived as of yesterday. That's it. The end of story.
So would you make any decisions, any like actual trading decisions based on this bear moon? Be honest.
If a bear moon arrives and we are coming up against like resistance or we're losing support, I probably would take it seriously. It's at least not for the whole month or anything, but for a few days.
Okay, well, this looks like a great time for me to tell you that this show is not financial advice, that this is just entertainment. I can't even say education if you start talking about the bare moon.
Well, the thing that I would say is that we haven't lost support yet, so it's not something to take too seriously.
We haven't lost support yet because there's great news in the market. I'll show you the great news in the market, and it's happening No, flow of the heart. You can't be. I know you're all about flow and yoga, but you can't be on Carl's side here. You can't. You just can't. You know, tell me in the comments if you're with Carl on this, because Carl, you're killing it. Your show on Saturday got 70,000 views. I mean, it's huge.
It was great.
Carl's killing it. They did an altcoin. They did an altcoin Degen. They did an altcoin Degen this weekend. We got this news today that the UK finance minister, he says that it is my ambition to make the UK a global hub for crypto asset technology. So remember that the UK left the EU, right? And last week we saw the EU voting, and their vote last week effectively makes it much harder to operate in the EU if you're operating with crypto. And now the UK finance minister says that, you know, they want to become the global hub for crypto asset technology. So that's one good thing that's happening. Also, there's this Apple announcement that I keep teasing you guys with, and there's 3 days to go until the Apple announcement. It's happening in exactly 3 days from now. Some people are talking about Apple buying $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. That was a tweet by Little Moon Lambo. I don't think that Apple's buying $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. I don't think they are going to buy it. And if they are going to buy it, I don't think they're going to use Bitcoin 2022 as a place to announce it. Even though we know that Tim Cook, this is what he said in an interview about Bitcoin.
Do you own crypto and any Bitcoin or Ethereum? Would you play around with this?
I do. Yeah, I think it's reasonable to own it as a part of a diversified portfolio. And I'm not giving anybody investment advice, by the way.
When did you get interested in it?
I've been interested in it for a while, and I've been researching it and so forth. And so I think it's interesting.
So this is what he said. That is what he said on the last interview. But I think that the announcement is the Jack Mallers announcement. The announcement that Jack Mallers was teasing when he wore an Apple shirt, an Apple cap, and he stood in front of the Chase ATM and he said, "Look, there's a keynote announcement happening on Thursday, the 7th." At 4:35, it's a 15-minute announcement. Now, notice what they've done here. They've made it on the second, it's the second day of the conference, but the first retail day of the conference, and they've made it at 4:35 p.m. So they don't want anyone to go home. They want everyone to stay there for one of the big announcements. So you can see that this is one of those huge announcements that is going to come out this week. And I think that this Apple announcement is going to be amazing. But you got to remember that every time that we have these big conferences, last year was no different. The price runs up before the conference, and the price comes down straight after the conference. It's almost like people are overestimating the news that's going to happen in the conference. Now, this year may be different. Who knows? It may be different. I do see that people are talking about taking a little bit of risk off. Even one of our friends on the channel, Ted Talks Macro, he's saying it may be time for a risk off week. People talking about a risk on week and a risk off week. Last week he was risk on. This week he's risk off. The reason why he is risk off this week is because we had such good jobs data, and because the inflation data is coming out, and the inflation data is going to be quite high, and because the economy is shrugging off all these things. What you see now is that people are talking about a 50 basis point rate hike for May. So if you look at May, let me just click on May. There is a 73% chance, or 73% of people believe that there's going to be a 50 basis point rate hike in that meeting. And then if you go to June, which is the next meeting, right now 62% of people believe that there's going to be another 50%. So 50 basis points, which is 0.5% and 0.5%. Which I mean, if we do get 2.5s in a row, that may hit the stock market quite a bit. And given the data that we're seeing, it could be that way. It could be that we're going to get a 0.5 and another 0.5, and the Fed's going to feel comfortable to accelerate the interest rate cycle. So that's one thing that we must look out for. And as much as the local markets have been quite immune to the data, and if you look now at the markets, the S&P 500 is up 0.34%. The Dow Jones it's pretty much flat, because the market is now specifically on the S&P. Let's look at that here. You take it from the top to where we are today, only 3.77% down. Then Powell may actually feel comfortable to smash up the interest rates as quickly as possible. And if he does do that, then that could be a problem. That could slow down the economy quite a bit. So pay attention to that. Don't fall into it. Also, pay attention to how quickly things turn, because a lot of people have lost perspective and they're saying, oh, we might have a pullback. I must sell my tokens. Do you think it's time to sell? You got to have perspective, and you got to have perspective about where we were just a few weeks ago. And that's the part that people aren't looking at yet. So people aren't looking at where we were a few weeks ago. If you look at Solana, and we look at Solana a week ago, what's the date? No, it's 2 weeks ago. So 15th of March. So let's look at Solana on the 15th of March, and we take where it was on the 15th of March, and we take where we are today. Solana's up 69% since the 15th of March. 69%. People forget about that. Let's take some other ones, because it's not only about Solana, it's about a lot of the altcoins that are going up. So you take Luna, and we'll take Luna from the 20th of February. 20th of February was a month and a half ago. It was at $47. And you take it where it is today, it's gone up 132.9%. So people are talking about a little bit of a pullback. Okay, maybe we'll get a little bit of a pullback. Who knows? But remember how far we've come, and in how quick we have come this far. I mean, we've had a recovery of epic proportions. Let's look at some other ones that ran. One of our coins that we called ran as well, which was Moonbeam. Now, Moonbeam, get this, on the 25th of Feb was $1.88. And today it's trading at $5.50. So that's up it's up 190%. You're talking about a last month and a half. So last month and a half has been absolutely amazing. And a lot of people forget how quickly this happens. So if we do get a bit of a pullback, and Bitcoin does go down 5% or 10%, and it could happen, then is this time to be selling your coins? Absolutely not. Because you've got to take a much bigger picture approach. When you have such big tokens moving up so quickly, you can expect some kind of pullback. But I don't think it's a smart idea to be trading these pullbacks. I think you should just be holding your tokens, because if you hold your tokens, that's when you get the majority of the returns. And you can see that if you look at our Degen-ish portfolio, which is the one we gave you guys mid-Feb. And the reason why we gave you guys this in mid-Feb, I've showed you guys before, but we did this in mid-Feb because we thought that it was a good time to get you guys in. Why? Because we're just broken through this trend line over here. We thought it was the beginning of a new cycle. When we started to come over here and we got the retest, we thought, okay, we're getting a perfect retest here. It's time to actually start aping in. And if you look at where you are on this portfolio, it says here that you're about 56% up. So you're about 56% up if you're on this portfolio. But the truth is, you're up much more than that 56%. And the reason why you're up much more is because those tokens, you should be staking those tokens. And if you are staking those tokens, tomorrow I'll show you how you've more than doubled your money if you invested on the 16th of Feb. So tomorrow we'll talk about what to do with the tokens in that portfolio. If you look at some of the other calls that we've made, I think Moonbeam was one of these calls. Yeah, here we go. And I think it's up more than 27%. I think the Moonbeam is up 100 and something percent since we called it. If you look at the 50,000 portfolio, so if you look at the portfolio where we invested that $50,000, that portfolio is right now at, let's see where it is, let's just quickly refresh it, 47,869. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in this weekend. A lot happened this weekend as well. Huge stuff happened this weekend. I don't know if you guys watched the alts. And if you were watching the alts, I hope you watched Kyle and Miles. Kyle and Miles. It's quite a Kyle and Miles.
Yeah, there's a ring.
Miles and Kyle's. Miles and Kyle's. So if you watch Miles and Kyle's did an amazing show talking about altcoins. And they covered a lot of altcoins. They covered Moonbeam. What else did you guys cover? You covered Moonbeam, Solana.
So many.
Phantom, because Phantom broke out.
Spirit Swap.
Yeah, the Spirit Swap. Miles is still convinced Spirit Swap's about to go on a rally, right?
For April.
Yeah, he's still convinced about that. Yeah, I mean, look at our altcoins in the last. Let's look at our altcoins in the last 7 days. So the ones that we've been watching. So in the last 7 days, you got Alethea AI, which is one that I've been watching. That's gone up 3x. What these people do is they can train an NFT using AI. So crazy. These guys are ex-Tesla. These guys are very smart people. They can train NFTs using AI, which is amazing. Then you've got Steppen, which is up 203%. You got Moonbeam, which is up 90%. You got FRAX 75.5% up in the last 7 days. I'm going to talk a little bit about FRAX because I think it's super interesting why that's up. It's amazing news for Luna and it's amazing news for FRAX. Zilliqa is up 50% because of their metaverse play that is launching. What else? Astroport hit and is now maintaining the $3 target. And people were laughing at me when I called the $3 target. Because when I called the $3 target, it was trading at like 65 cents. And Luna was trading at under $50. And I said, Luna's going to hit $100 and Astroport's going to hit $3.
You all laughed at me. Well, I have to say, you're not laughing now, are you?
No one's laughing now. No one's laughing now. Now it's become a very serious matter. It is. It's a very serious matter all of a sudden. No one's laughing. No one's laughing anymore. Yeah, let's talk about FRAX. So I don't know. You must have seen this. You must have seen this spike over the weekend, and I bet that a lot of you didn't even know what FRAX was, FXS was, when before this weekend. So maybe let's talk about what it is, because it's actually what happened with FRAX is actually quite technical and quite important. And I think when you understand the magnitude of what's happening, you'll see another side to crypto, which is maybe a huge money-making opportunity for you. So it starts off over here, where you see these two green candles on insane volume. Look at the volume over there. Look at the volume relative to the rest of the volume that we've seen here. And everyone then starts asking what the hell this FXS is. What is FRAX? So FRAX is essentially it's a stablecoin. It's a stablecoin just like Luna and Terra. You've got FRAX and you've got FXS. So FXS is like the Luna and FRAX is the actual stablecoin, which should always have a price of $1. Now, how FRAX works is FRAX works on a combination of collateral, and the collateral is USDT, USDC, and FXS. So as you can see right now, it is only, this line over here shows the collateral ratio. So right now it's backed by, say, 85% of USDT and USDC, and the balance is actually backed by FXS. So when it becomes less and less pegged, less and less backed, then it requires more and more FXS shares. So in other words, the more people trust this, the less USDT and USDC collateral that they require to keep the peg, and therefore the more FXS are used to keep the peg, and that reduces the circulating supply of FXS. Now, what you can see is that the FRAX circulating supply has grown insanely fast. So you can see that they were on 258 million in July last year. And today they've got a circulating supply of 2.8 billion. So it's also grown by about 10x, which is very similar to our Lunar bet, where if you look at this chart in terms of growth, it's very similar to the Lunar chart. But the reason why this grew is not because all of a sudden people discovered this algorithmic stablecoin. You can see that the supply of this has been growing exponentially since October, November last year. And the price of FXS has gone up from $22 a week ago. In fact, let's go a bit further back so you can see how quickly the price of FXS, which is the share, so it went from $6 in August all the way now to $38 today. It was at $38 before the crash in January. So you can see the price history over there. So what actually happened? Why did this shoot up this weekend? Why did we get this huge price spike this weekend? I think this is one of the coolest takeovers or stories in crypto. And it starts over here when DogeCoin tweeted, and he said, introducing the 4 pool between FRAX Finance, TFL, which is a Terra foundation, and Redacted Cartel. And what they basically did, this is where it gets super interesting. So if you want to understand what they did, we're going to go for a quick lesson on what Curve Finance is. So if you look at what Curve Finance is a DEX for stablecoins. That's what it is. It's a DEX for stablecoins. It is designed to have very little slippage when you're trading between stablecoins. So if you see, look here, but if you're trading between DAI and USDC, or if you're looking at between TUSD and USDC, you can't afford to get slippage. So you need a specialized exchange, and this specialized exchange has got to account for very, very little slippage on stablecoins. And remember, with stablecoins, liquidity is everything. So when you have liquidity in stablecoins, the stablecoin with the most liquidity is the one that actually wins, because with stablecoins, liquidity is absolutely, absolutely everything. And what Curve does is Curve has a whole lot of pools. And if you stake your tokens in the Curve pools, you get the Curve token as emissions. So you get your rewards, in Curve tokens. Now, this is where it gets super interesting, because the pools that have the most locked up value get the most emissions. And what they're getting the emission of a governance token, which is the Curve governance token. And the people who have the Curve governance token are the ones that can vote on where the emissions should go. So if you think about a pool that's got a lot locked up in it is getting a lot of emissions, and then those people can just keep voting for their pool to get the most emissions. Okay, so that's what Curve is. But then on top of Curve, you've got this thing called Convex. And Convex is a platform that allows people to lock up their Curve shares. So if you own Curve, you lock it up in Convex, and Convex votes. But Convex gets bribes from people who wanted to vote in a certain way, legal bribes, obviously. And they make today, Convex makes over $1 million in bribes every single day, which they pay back their token holders. So remember, Convex is just a platform for you to lock up Curve tokens. And by locking up those Curve tokens, they bribe you so that you take your vote and that you move your vote into the pools that are yielding the most amount, you take your vote and you use your vote to control the emissions of Curve tokens. So it's a massive business. And as I said, there's about $1 million a day going into Curve, into Convex in terms of all these bribes. So let's look at what happened, because I think this is where it gets super juicy. So in a potential masterstroke, by the way, this is a tweet thread written by my brother, Yaniv. Remember, I told you to follow him. The guy's super smart. When he writes a thread, you got to listen. He says, in a potential masterstroke, Terra Money and FRAX Finance have actually come together. So even though they are competing, they've come together. And they've come together to take over a pool on Curve Finance and to take it over from DAI. Okay, so right now, the biggest Curve in DAI, the biggest pool in Curve is the DAI. The DAI, which is the MakerDAI pool. Okay, so let's read this quickly. Curve tokens are distributed to liquidity providers on Curve. CRV tokens can vote on which LP pools receive these CRV tokens or these emissions. In what's called Curve Wars, Convex Finance, a different protocol, accumulated 50% of all the Curve. Now they control the emissions as a result. Convex takes bribes every 2 weeks to determine which pools receive the emissions. They earn about $1 million a day. So if we said $15 million in 2 weeks. The largest pool to date has been the 3 pool, which is USDT, USDC, and DAI. Okay, there's $3.4 billion locked up in this pool. Okay, so that's been the biggest thing. And remember, I said to you that with stable coins, liquidity is everything. And Curve is the biggest stablecoin exchange in the world. So the one that owns the most liquidity there is the winner. Terra and FRAX are looking to usurp the 3 pool with a 4 pool, which is a UST, FRAX, USDC, UST. And there's no DAI here. And this alliance has been formed, and they've formed this alliance, and they now hold 12% of all the Convex. Okay, so now they own 12% of all the Convex, and they're going to start voting for the UST FRAX, USDT, USDC pool to start getting most of the emissions, and they're going to dethrone the other pool. But there is one problem along the way, and that is that Tetranode, who you may know Tetranode, he still owns a whole lot more tokens. And he says, I still own more Convex tokens than Terra. DogeCoin seems to think different. He says, we control 50%. So he says, we control 50%. So now we're getting Convex Wars. So we're getting this, there were Curve Wars first. Now we're getting these Convex Wars that are starting to happen. And a big concern for MakerDAO is that 1.49 billion of DAI liquidity. So Curve has 1.49 billion, which is over 50% of the DAI in circulation is locked up in Curve. And so what Terra have done, or what DogeCoin in partnership with FXS have done, is they've now created this pool 4, and they're going to start voting for pool 4 to get most of the emissions. And if they do get more emissions, it means that more people are going to lock up. They're going to lock up more UST and FXS, and that is and FRAX, and that is why we saw this huge price spike and this huge price spikes in FXS. So super interesting. And DogeCoin also says he's so cocky. We're just getting started. So that's why he hasn't been buying. That's why he hasn't been buying for a week, because he's actually been busy doing something completely different. He's been busy doing that, and that's why he hasn't been buying. Oh, what else? There is some other news. The Ronin hacker. Guess what? He's doing exactly what I thought he would do. He's starting to use Tornado Cash to start moving his money. So we looked at his account today. Look at the account. You can see that because Tornado Cash has a limit of, I think it's 100 ETH limit. Is it a maximum of 100 or 1,000 ETH? I think it's 100 ETH. So it's 100 ETH. So what you can see is that he's starting to, remember, he's got 173,000 ETH. That's how many he's got, right? And he's now moving them in increments of 100.
Is that per day? No.
Per transaction.
Oh, okay.
So you can see he's already moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 600 Ether. He's still got 172,000 to go. Yeah, it's got 172,000. Yeah, 172,000. Yeah, it's got $660 million. So he's using Tornado Cash. So like it or hate it, Tornado Cash is being used again. Is being used again. There's nothing you can do about it. So, and you can see, let's actually look at what happened to the price of Tornado Cash because this is actually happening.
So you must do 1,720 transactions.
He must do 1,720 transactions in Tornado Cash. And remember, Tornado Cash charge you a 3% fee every single time.
Win-win.
Win-win. So, I mean, everybody wins. Like it or hate it, I think you've got to be holding Tornado Cash. I keep saying it. And soon the market will realize. Soon the market's going to realize this. What else? Cardano. I love this. I love this. Because, usually we say that when whales are buying, it's a good thing. So Sentiment published this, and they say Cardano's back above 122, which is great. It is one of the only tokens that was moving up today. But they're saying that the whales, so the people that own $100,000 plus of Cardano are now selling to people that own $100,000 to $100,000. So basically, as you can see here, the whales are starting to dump. And what they're doing is they're dumping it onto the smaller investors. So you make of that what you actually wish. But if you look at it, there's been a big jump in the smart contracts on Cardano. So they've doubled. The smart contracts have doubled in the last week on Cardano. So we've got to see if that carries on. There is stuff happening there. The first thing that's happening there is there's a lot of NFT stuff happening there. Snoop Dogg and Champ Medici will partner up with Clay Nation to bring you iconic collectibles. I think they're doing it on Cardano. In fact, I know for sure they're doing it on Cardano. So that is happening on Cardano. There is also the CME group looking at offering Solana and Cardano futures. So we've got Bitcoin futures, we've got ETH futures. Now there is Cardano and Solana futures that they're looking at. But then Emin from Avalanche comes out and says, a single Avalanche subnet launched literally 2 days ago has more TVL than Cardano, ranked 8th. Avalanche itself is ranked 10. Make of it what you want. These founders. Let's talk about ADASwap. So ADASwap is a DEX on Cardano. It is launching on Gate.io tomorrow. The IDO was done or is being done now on DAOmaker, on Pools, and I think CardStarter as well. I'm not sure I think it's also CardStarter as well. We're investors in this. So full disclosure, we're investors in this. I'm not telling you to buy it. In fact, I'm going to give you all the information and you deal with the information as you wish. I'm not telling you to go and buy it. And the reason why I'm not telling you to go and buy it is because generally when these things launch, they launch like this and then they come down. So watch out for that. Don't get caught up in the hype. I'm going to tell you that private investors paid 0.5 cent per token. The seed round paid 0.03 and the private round paid 0.042. So I've told you what everybody else paid. If you're going to go and buy, watch the launch tomorrow on Gate, because if you can get it at a reasonable multiple of that or close to that, then I think it's a good time to buy it. Certainly we've bought it because we think that I'm not mad about SundaySwap. I think SundaySwap have made a lot of mistakes. I think they've got litigation now with CardStarter, and we decided to back a different one. So full disclosure, we're backing this. We're backing this protocol, and we're also going to give you guys. Should I give away $5,000, $10,000, or $15,000 worth of tokens?
Of which ones?
ADASwap.
100.
No, I can't give 100,000. You're out of your mind. You lost your marbles. There's not even 100,000.
Some for tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna give away here today. I'm gonna give away a couple of $1,000, but I'm also gonna give it to people in the chat, and I want to give it to people in the comments. It can't only be people that are watching us live. So that is also happening. You've got the ETH BTC chart, which has broken out. Today's the first day that it's coming down. But I did notice that the thesis that I thought about, which is that institutions were going to start investing in ETH, is really, really, really playing out. And it's playing out on Lido Finance. So one thing that you can see here is you can see here that the ETH deposits in March started to explode. So you can see the ETH deposit in March started to explode. Lido is getting the majority of the TVL there. Full disclosure, we are investors in Lido too. We've been investors in Lido for a while. The average deposit size in Lido is also up over the last 2 months, which signals that we may be seeing institutional hedge funds and large whales gearing up for the merge trade. Now, this is huge news because buying in ETH and driving this chart up like this could indicate an alt season. And if we are going to get an alt season, if we're going to get more money flowing into ETH, and then remember that this ETH gets locked up. So this ETH is getting locked up in the staking, and they're getting the, what do they call it? ST ETH, I think they call it, staked ETH. I think that's what they call it. With the ST ETH token they get. Yeah, they call it, yeah, there we go, ST ETH. So you deposit your ETH into Lido, and then you get this token called ST ETH, which is like a proof that you've got tokens locked up on Lido. And if you've got that, then you can go and use that to trade, because people say, well, we know that your tokens are staked on ETH. On Lido. What else? There's this whole debacle with waves. Actually, no, there's this. Someone says that there's a leaked, that Chamath's $1 billion Solana sell OTC deal got leaked. I wouldn't be surprised. I know Chamath was going to sell some Solana. She didn't realize going to sell $1 billion. And if it's been done already, it hasn't hit the market. There's also this whole mess on ETH, on waves. I mean, I'll summarize it for you in 30 seconds because I don't feel like going into it, because I feel like doubling people's portfolios. But effectively what happened was, it feels like, or it seems like, that Waves blockchain, which is, I mean, the biggest the biggest thing on Waves blockchain is they mint the stable coin, and the stable coin is called USDN. So that is effectively the biggest use case of the Waves ecosystem, kind of like Terra and Luna, where Waves is the Terra, is the Luna, and then USDN is the Terra. It's a stable coin. And it seems like there was an arbitrage opportunity, or a way to manipulate the price of the one. And it feels like FTX got caught doing it. Now, I don't know if you can say get caught, because if it's there and FTX can manipulate the price, well, good luck to them. That's just what trading is. I think what you should do is there's going to be an article on the Crypto Banter website. Have a look at the article on the Crypto Banter website today, because it really explains every single part of that arbitrage, which I don't really feel like doing right now. I don't really feel like spending 10 minutes. I think we should rather just double people's portfolios. That's a lot more fun for me. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to hide this sheet. Now remember, if you don't have a ByBit account, you should have a ByBit account, because ByBit is an amazing place to go and trade, and you can trade a whole lot of your favorite altcoins, and you can go and trade Bitcoin. I'm not telling you to go and trade leverage, because I think until you've done Sheldon's leverage course, do not trade leverage. But I am telling you to open an account at ByBit, and I'm telling you to put your money into it. And the reason is because for the next 30 days, we are going to double people's portfolios. We said that. So we're just going to take random people's portfolios, and we're going to double them and double them and double them. So no matter how much money they've got in the portfolio, we're just going to take that amount and we're going to double it. And we're going to select these people at random. So this could be you. Now, this is limited at $5,000. So if you've got more than $5,000 in your account, I'm not doubling it. Maybe someone else wants to double it. I'm not doubling it. Okay, remember row number 3173. That's our row. Let's quickly unhide the rows here and see whose portfolios we're doubling and see how much. Let's see, 3,100 and? I hope we get some big fish today. I hope I'm doubling some real big people's portfolio. Not just, we've been doubling 400s and 500s. All right, so, okay, we got a big one today. So 3173 gets doubled. He's got $138 in his portfolio. You've got 3174, it's got $382 in his portfolio. You've got 630. So 807, 630's got $114, then 332, and then $2,197 gets doubled. Nice payday. Nice payday for someone. Got $2,197. Listen, it's so simple. If you want to do this, all you have to do is you just go to ByBit. You input. There's a link below. It's the first link below. Hit that first link. Open an account. You can trade amazing altcoins there. In the past, we didn't talk much about ByBit because you could only trade Bitcoin and ETH, but now you can trade Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, Stargate with the best fees and like huge liquidity. So go and do it. And for the next 30 days, I'm going to double people's portfolio, unless every day I get these 2,197s, because then I can't afford to double people's portfolios every day. Just can't do it. All right, has anything else happened while we've been on the show, gentlemen? Because I want to give everybody all the news. So has anything else happened? Let's quickly just look at. Okay, let's see. I don't think anything else happened. All right, remember that, we need to give away ADASwap. Hold on, we need to give away ADASwap. Let's give away ADASwap. Okay, I'm going to give some away to people in the comments. Okay, Jake the Sniper wins because I promised him a prize because he's so active. So he wins $200 of ADASwap at the IDO price. Gabby the Degen, he wins $200 of ADASwap at the IDO price, which is 0.5%. Then you've got 200 Immigranto. What?
The Twitch guy.
Twitch guy, you win $200. Josh Levine, you win $200. Winner chicken dinner, you win. PJB, you win $200. That's $1,000 I've just given away of ADASwap. Okay, I'll do the rest. Yeah, there's another one. Sean Beck, 20. The rest I'm going to give to people in the comments of the YouTube. So comment in the YouTube today, and tomorrow I'm going to give that. Also, go to the website. Comment on any one of our stories on the website. Just comment on any one of our stories. Tomorrow we'll do that. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Happy with that?
Let's give to the saltiest comments.
No, why do we want to give salty people? We don't want to give salty people. I didn't. Someone here is asking. I didn't buy STG. I'm buying STG at $2. I am farming STG. So I deposited USDC USDT, and I'm farming in their pools. And as you can see, I want to just show you quickly. Let me quickly just find that. Stargate, let's quickly, Stargate Finance. You can see that you can actually stake, because I don't want to buy. And so you can see what you can do is you can stake your USDT, USDC on any network that you want. You can get 17.3%, 17.96% APY, but you get the APY in Stargate tokens. So that's how I'm accumulating Stargate tokens. I put some money into these pools, and then I'm accumulating Stargate tokens instead of accumulating dollars. Easy way to do it. Alrighty, see you guys again tomorrow. Until then, have fun, my friends. Trade well.